I would like to thank all of you to being here and to listen to me and all other speakers. And a special thanks to the Sigma Tau because of their organization and because of everything. And they're always at the top level. This is why I would like to start with this slide of our latest meeting in Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam with Professor Agarwal. And we had a really good meeting. And again, it was a pleasure to cooperate with Sigma Tau. But now it's time to start with our topic of today, and we are talking about men's health. So I would like to start with a general topic, and then we will go directly to our problem. So what's men's health? Men's health is optimal physical, emotional, and social health. This is the most important thing that we have to remember when we are talking about the men's, because this is important even on the web. If you go on the PubMed and you do a research on men's health, as you can see over the years, there is a continuous increase in the published papers. So in 2016, in June, we already have 400 articles for a total of 6,500 articles. So is it a topic that years by years is increasing the interest, and for us, it's becoming important and important. But as you can see, this is multidisciplinary. So when we talk about men's health, we talk about so many different factors that brings to the men's health. And in particular, sexual and reproductive medicine, that is the main topic of this meeting, is a part of the men's health, and we are focusing on this. Again, as Professor Agarwal told to us, the infertility is 50% depending on men, and the most important cause of male infertility is the oligospermic, and there are so many causes for this OAT. I would like to start with this paper. This is a 2013 paper. It's made by a group of Q8, and they are using the sperm quality as a paradigm of longevity of the people. So they would like to see if people having a good parameters in the sperm are people that they have a good health, while if people having no good sperm, they don't have a good health. So we have two lines of evidence. So the first evidence is that couples that having children, they live longer. So this is the first evidence. And the second evidence that the most health disorders have a deleterious effect on sperm parameters. So starting from this evidence, we could think that the sperm can be a mirror of the health of the people. And in fact, as you can see, if we take in consideration all of these disorders, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, metabolic syndrome, all of these are related directly with the sperm parameters, because all of these people suffering with this disorder, they suffer for a bad sperm quality. I love this picture because it's a microscope pic of the sperm. You can see here on the left side the sperm of a healthy person here with a regular head and a regular tail and a regular mid part of the sperm. While here, this is the picture of the sperm of a person suffering from diabetes. And in here, you can see the different size of the head, the different middle part where there is the mitochondria, where there is the energy, and even the different tail. So it's a completely different. This is why, again, talking about oxidative stress, as Professor Agarwal underlined, this is the main cause of all the problems related with the alteration of the sperm. In fact, as a conclusion of this paper, they conclude that sperm parameters can affect early in pathogenesis of medical disorders. But for the moment, the use of sperm parameters for monitoring male health is still too early. But maybe for the future can be something that we can take in consideration because it's really important. But focusing better on the sperm damage, we have to remember which is the shape of a regular spermatozoa. So to work good, the spermatozoa must have an entire head where there is all the DNA inside, the midsection where we have all the energy metabolism, so where there are all the mitochondria, and even the flagellum, that is the tail. All these three parts must work together properly, otherwise the sperm cannot do his work. And if we think about ROS, reactive oxygen species, we have to think like pinballs that bounce again the sperm, creating damages. So reactive oxygen species is like these pinballs that bounce against the sperm, creating problems with the DNA, problems with the sperm tail, and problem with the natural defense. All of these items can create a sperm not working properly. This slide was already presented by Professor Agarwal, it's the same, but is really impressive because, as you can see, oxidative stress is in the center of the problem, and all the diseases, considering cancer, diabetes, smoking, drugs, all these things can bring to an increase in an oxidative stress. So the imbalance between the oxidative stress and not oxidative stress is in favor of oxidative stress, bringing to the dysfunction in spermatozoa, infertility, and again, problem with the fertility of the couple. Reactive oxygen species must be in the right number, because when their concentration increase moderately, you will have a sperm immobilization. If we have a high concentration, we have exactly the cell death. So we have to keep a good number of reactive oxygen species because they're fundamental to keep the balance of the fertility. Even the energy metabolism, because as I told you, in the middle part of the sperm, there is the mitochondria, and they are fundamental for the function and for the energy metabolism of the sperm. And the ROS can create problems with the membrane, even in disorganization, even in the potential, even in DNA, and even in the ATP production. So all of this can create problems in the metabolism and in the energy metabolism of the sperm. And this is why I would like to present this paper that is really recent, on 2015, where we focus exactly on DNA fragmentation and the membrane potential of mitochondrial as a mirror of the fertility. As you can see here, they are more precise than the classical progressive motility, concentration, and morphology in predicting the fertility of the mens. Because here, as you can see, the area under the curve of the DNA fragmentation is definitely better than with concentration, progressive motility, and sperm. So sperm DNA fragmentation and MMP combined may be superior to standard semen parameters for the predictive of natural conception. So in next future, we should focus more on the DNA damage and on the MMP to better understand the fertility of the person. And even patients suffering from varicocele, that is a typical problem in these patients, in these people, in this 2016 paper. Even here, you can see as the people suffering from varicocele have an increased elevated quantity of ROS, and the OS bring to subfertility, to decrease in fertility, and again to a damage that must be repaired. Now, I would like to swipe on the treatment, because now we understood and how it works and which is the causes of the infertility. But what can we do? Which is the best way for us to treat these patients and to obtain good results? So we have to act on oxidative stress, because as I told you, is the most important thing. And we have to keep the balance of this ROS in a good way to have the best function of the sperm. And again, the carnitine is one of the most important elements that can help in this function, because it brings energy into the cells. As everybody knows, it is really important for the mitochondrial function, the carnitine. Removes toxin from the cells, because the cells is accumulating so many toxins, and this is the capability to take out all these toxins. Plus, it has additional effects on sperm, because the initiation of the sperm motility is related to increase of carnitine, and this happens in the epididymal lumen and even in the sperm cell. This is why carnitine protects the cell membrane against oxidative stress and damage. So it's a really important role of carnitine in this. In fact, I would like to present you a couple of papers that are explaining this. This is maybe the most important paper on carnitine of 2005 on fertility and sterility. And they made a study on 59 patients. It's a small group, but is really important, with L-carnitine and ALC, or an acetyl L-carnitine, plus the combination of these two elements. And what they found is here, they evaluated sperm forward motility, total motility, and all other parameters. And what is, And what is impressive is that the association brings to an increase of 68% till 78, while the only LAC 56 and LC only 33%. So the association of the acetyl L-carnitine with L-carnitine brings to an increase on the fertility in comparison with people taking placebo. Even for the total sperm motility, the same, the association obtained the best results. And in conclusion, even the pregnancy rate, even if it was not an endpoint of this study, we obtained that 9 pregnancies out of 12 occurred in patients that was taking the association of the supplements. And again, this is a meta-analysis that is taking in consideration not so many papers, but is taking the most important ones, is 5 papers, and they take in consideration all the parameters. And as you can see, sperm concentration is statistically significant in favor of the nutraceuticals. Total sperm motility, again, is in favor of the nutraceuticals. Forward sperm motility as well is in favor of nutraceuticals. Atypical sperm forms, there is a decrease that is very important. So there is a less number of atypical sperm forms. And even the latest, the pregnancy rate, it is maybe the most significant. There is, in this meta-analysis, there is really an increase in people uptaking this kind of nutraceutical supplements. And this is the last paper. This is really recent, 2015. It is focused on varicocele. Why I'm presenting this paper? Because later I will show our experience, and we are talking about the people suffering from varicocele. And again, this is a really interesting paper where you can see it's only 20 patients, but they are suffering from varicocele. They uptake this kind of supplementation, and they obtain a good result. You can see that there is a decrease on the abnormal form of sperm from 13 till 9, an increase of the good sperm quality. And here you can see this good picture of non-fragmented DNA, while there is a highly degraded DNA. So there is definitely a decrease in the degraded DNA, and so the quality of the sperm is definitely better in these patients. So in conclusion, what all this trial told to us that unfortunately results are heterogeneous, and that we have a small group of patients, and but the results are good, and we have to continue obtaining better results with the placebo-controlled studies and with an increase of number of patients taking this therapy. Now I would like to go directly to our experience. So we have so much experience regarding this topic, and we published in 2012 this paper that was not a placebo-controlled and not a big group of patients. So we have 96 patients, only 80 concluded the treatment, and is an open-label study. And even here, we was happy to have an increase in progressive sperm motility from 18 till 42, really good result. And even the morphology of the sperm had an increase, less, not statistically significant, but it was even to notice. And even the pregnancy, even if it was not an endpoint, the pregnancy had 15% in comparison of 0%. So it was even this importance. But the real reason because I'm here is to present our protocol. Is a study that we made together with Sigma Tau, and it took such a long time because we started talking about this in 2013, and by the end to obtain all the results and all the enough patients, because we need to have 104 patients to obtain a statistical potency that is adequate for the results. Finally, I'm here to present the results of this study that are quite impressive. In particular, the Proxeed formulation was presented by Professor Agarwal. It allows an improving sperm maturation function, enhance protect energy metabolism, protect sperm from free radical injury, so the imbalance between ROS, and protect sperm from apoptosis. So all these items together should obtain a result in the quality of the sperm and in pregnancy rate and all these parameters. So the objective of the study was to determine in a randomized, double-blind, placebo controls, because here we are talking about something that is randomized, placebo controls, and the effect of this supplementation, Proxeed in this case, on sperm quality in subject suffering from oligospermic, with and without varicocele. This is why we give them 6 months of treatment or 6 months of placebo to evaluate the results and to see if can have an action on this. So this is the study design, 104 patients, divided in half with varicocele and half without varicocele. And under each group, we have 26 taking placebo and 26 taking the supplement. So this is the study design and the results. This is the timing of assessment. We evaluated patient at the beginning. We take their history. We made so many questions about their comorbidities. So we took so many data, and then we gave them the compounds at the time 0. After 3 months, they came back to us to make some evaluation of all the parameters. And after the 6 months, we did again a sperm evaluation to see if there was an increase or there was a results with the supplement. Inclusion criteria are really difficult. I don't want to explain everything, but mainly are people suffering from oligospermic, 18, 15 years old, difficult conceiving major than 12 months. Semen analysis should be less than 20 millions per milliliters, less of progressive motility than 50%, vitality less than 58%, motility 40%, and morphology inferior to 4%. We have even so many exclusion criteria because we don't want any confounding factors, because as was told before, usually these papers, these clinical trials are not good because there are so many confounding factors. This is why our exclusion criteria were really strict and we focused on this. So, and I would like now to present the results that are quite interesting. So starting from the count, so the sperm total count, as you can see between varicocele and non-varicocele, we had an increase that is always statistically significant from 19.6 to 154 in varicocele population. It is less in people suffering not varicocele. This is exactly because of the imbalance of oxidative stress. In people suffering from varicocele, you have an increase in oxidative stress, and this is why the results are definitely better, 99 till 154, 151 till 169 in people not having varicocele. Even in the count per milliliter, we have an increase that is statistically significant, 39 up to 49, and 47 till 52. Both of them are statistically significant, but again, in people suffering from varicocele, the results are better. Here is the graph, people taking the placebo, people taking the Proxeed Plus, non-varicocele against varicocele, better results in patients taking Proxeed because they have 25% increase against 10% of increase in non-varicocele population. Motility. In this we have exactly the opposite because there is no difference between varicocele and non-varicocele population, because in both populations we have an increase that is 12% and 13% in the motility of the sperm. In fact, even here, 13% against 12% is important, and again, is statistically significant. And again, as progressive sperm motility, we have good results, statistically significant, but there is no big difference between the two groups. In fact, we have 18.6 and 18.6 that is the same between varicocele and non-varicocele population. As you can see here, the difference between placebo and Proxeed Plus population, and these are the results. And I would like to conclude with a couple of sentences. That is, as for any drugs, clinical efficacy of any natural compounds must be demonstrated by double-blind placebo-controlled study. This is the most important thing because we have so many studies with no good population, no good studies, population that are so different, and this is the most thing important that we have to focus in. And this is my last sentence, changing the way men think about their sexual health. And by the end, I would like to remember that Sigma Tau is even this, even having dinner all together. Thank you.